Hello.
Hello.
We are here, and this is our episode one of our podcast, Real Talk with Sherrod and Jesse.
Yes, we're very excited to start this podcast, and we're glad that for everybody who's tuning in, watching us. It's going to be interesting. It's not scripted. This is all real. So, you know, just laugh with us.
Yeah, we are not we are podcast enthusiasts, but not podcast recorders until now. But we are very
Yes.
excited and a little nervous, and we're real excited to have some real
Yes,
talk with
real
everybody.
excited. All right. Yes. Okay. So we'll just dive in. I'm Jesse. I've been with VNLink now for almost 2 years. It will be 2 years and like 4 days. So that's been amazing. I started out as a contact center specialist, where I was answering crisis calls and resource calls. Now I'm part of the outreach program. Before that, I was working in foster placements with kids, helping them with mental health. I've always had a passion for mental health. I've dealt with depression, anxiety, in my real life since I was young and a suicide survivor. So I've really wanted to make awareness come out, and I enjoy being with V-Link, and that's what we do. And it's been a blessing. So here we are.
Here we are. And this podcast was all Jesse's idea to give her all the credit. So thank you, Jesse, and thank you for
No
including me
problem.
in it. My name's Sherrod Crespo. I am a licensed clinical social worker. I am a part of the clinical staff at VLink, and I am in the position of being the Vice President of External Affairs. I've been working for VLink for a little over 6 years now. My journey to getting here was kind of roundabout. I started my work, which was not work, as an intern at a crisis center in Louisiana. And I really chose to kind of go to do an internship at a crisis line because I was going into social work, and originally going into grad school, I thought I only wanted to do direct practice, like no advocacy, no macro work. I was like, I just want to see clients. And they kept telling us, like, your career will end up being completely different than you thought. I was like, yeah, whatever. And it is. But that was how I ended up working or interning for a crisis line, was thinking, well, since I want to go into direct practice, if I work on a crisis line, like, I'll hear it all. And that'll be a good foundation. And then that internship, I mean, just changed my life. It was the most impactful thing and really shaped what I wanted to do with my career. I fell in love with crisis lines, helplines, as we like to call them, and the space they provide for people. And then truly learning just how listening is so important and actually is a skill to create that safe space for individuals to be able to get all their gunk out. And I fell in love with training and getting to help people to kind of learn how to work or volunteer on a helpline. And then most impactfully for me was the kind of direct practice portion of that internship, was working in a support group for survivors of suicide loss. And I can just so specifically remember being in that group and feeling the loss and the pain of the individuals in that group, and just the fact that they allowed me to share that space as their intern, not even their support group facilitator. And I just remember sitting there thinking, nobody should go through this. Like, nobody should have to go through this type of pain. And it really sparked a fire in me to want to work with survivors of suicide loss, which I do still do through Via Link, but also to really advocate and learn more about what we can do to prevent suicide so that people don't have to go through this type of loss. So that original center I was in did have to close its contact center due to funding issues, which we know in the mental health field is a continuous
Yeah.
problem. But thankfully, ViaLink absorbed all of the programs. Lavandra Dobbs, our CEO, came in and was like, "Hey, all of y'all who want to come work for us, come work for us. You don't have to apply. You're already doing the work. We trust you. Come work for us." And that was how I ended up on the clinical staff at ViaLink, originally working more in the contact center department in that supervisory role. But as we were merging the two agents, and this might be a boring story, but I think it's interesting. As we were merging the two agencies, and I was a supervisor from one, and there were two from Via Link originally, and we were kind of ironing out our policies and our procedures and what do we do? How do we retrain all the specialists? Because now we're combining phone lines, policies, procedures, all kinds of things. And we all realized we were kind of just saying, well, this is the way that we do things here, not because of like what we knew as best practice, but because of how we were trained, and realized like that's not good enough to just do stuff because it's how you've done it. So we were allowed a lot of time to really deep dive into research, and in particular with suicide response. And I just loved it. And then I kind of started forming our outreach department at ViaLink. And then COVID happened and there was no outreach. And I was like, huh, what do I do? So I was, of course, helping out with the contact center. But when that started to level off, one of my clinical mentors at the time who worked at a different agency encouraged me to try and develop trainings because I love training so much and teaching. And so again, our CEO, she's amazing. She was like, go forth, figure it out. I trust you. So I started creating trainings on suicide prevention, on trauma, on crisis intervention, and offering them for free to kind of get our ball rolling. And that actually just got a lot of momentum going in our outreach department and our external affairs now department for Via Link. And that's how we've ended up where we are now, years later. And now we have a podcast. So yay, aren't we?
Yeah.
So legit. Um,
Yeah.
so that's very exciting. But I guess I can walk us through what Via Link is since we're talking about
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
So Via Link is the nonprofit that Jesse and I both work for. So Via Link has actually been around in Louisiana since the Great Depression. It was originally just a purely volunteer agency, essentially assisting volunteers in this historic time of need to get to the people that needed volunteers. So just kind of almost doing like what 211 does now, which we'll get into, but not over the telephone, obviously, because it was um, it evolved throughout the years. It became an official nonprofit, I think more into like the 70s. And then we started doing telephonic work, I mean, decades ago. When 211, which is an information and referral line, was designated by the FCC as an official 3-digit dialing code, we were answering it. And I know we've mentioned that VLink is a 988 center, 988 being the new 3-digit dialing code for the Suicide Prevention Lifeline, formerly 1-800-273-TALK. We've been answering that line since it was the 10-digit dialing code, even back when it was 1-800-SUICIDE. So we are not new to the world of telephonic emotional support and suicide intervention. But we have been so amazed with the evolution and especially 988, just how much this is being promoted and normalized to reach out for help. Um, Along with 211 and 988, we also answer a statewide crisis teen text line in Louisiana. And we also have a line just for parents, Louisiana Parent Line, which is available through phone and text statewide. All this information also is on our website, vialink.org. If anybody ever wants to look out and look up more about us, and we'll be talking about ViaLink throughout our podcast as well and going into some of these programs specifically. Along with our contact center department, we have the external affairs, the outreach department. We love to be at any event that you're doing. We have lots of fun swag like wristbands that I'm wearing and things. We're happy to mail those out for free for any agencies who want them. We do, of course, presentations on our agency, and we really pride ourselves on trying to be like to help the help givers, to alleviate some load if we can from the people that work in the helping profession. We also do educational trainings on things like trauma, on suicide response, on crisis intervention training, de escalation training. We do trainings on grief. We're now venturing into doing trainings on self care, but also like somatic movement and how that helps keep your brain healthy. So, lots of cool things. We also have a very huge resource department at ViaLink, which is amazing. So if you're in Louisiana and you're trying to make a resource database, just go to our website. You don't have to do that much work. We have a really dedicated resource staff. It's quite amazing, and it works really well in conjunction with our outreach team and with our contact center team and creating this very robust resource database. Not only of behavioral health resources, but just like human service resources, which is what we can provide through our 211 programs as well. So things like, of course, behavioral health resources, but things like transportation assistance, legal assistance, utility assistance, housing information on like the SNAP program or TANF, just all kinds of great things. And we publish all of our resources to our website for free. So you can also explore that just on your own. And you can email and text the resources directly from our website, which is pretty cool. And then through that, We also now have built our data program, or our data for good program, as I like to call it, which is now that we had all this amazing data through the contact center. And so we took the aggregate data, so nothing confidential, and published it into these easy to use data dashboards. And these data dashboards we publish again to our website for free, but they're really great because you can use the real time data where you're seeing the demographic information and the needs information from communities in Louisiana in real time, which also means you can see the unmet needs. So individuals who may work with grant funding or even advocating for like policy change, you can use this real-time data. We get 5,000 plus contacts a month. It's a real good source of data, and you can utilize that for whatever it is that you might be advocating or requesting funding for and things like that. So do go explore our website. It's pretty cool. And we also have an additional website because Via Link is the house for Prevent Child Abuse Louisiana, or PCAL, which is the Louisiana affiliate or chapter of Prevent Child Abuse America. So, with that, we've also launched our website, preventchildabusela.org, where we have a really great events calendar filled with lots of great information on events for families. That's where we have a lot of our training information, a lot of info for schools. We have a Google Drive that's live, which is created through the school based mental health work group in Louisiana, with lots of great information for schools, for faculty, for parents, all kinds of great stuff. So visit our websites, vialink.org and preventchildabusela.org. Those are shameless plugs. And I promise we will not only be talking about our agency, but I would not be a very good outreach person if I didn't plug it a little bit. And we also have other great staff, like we've got our HMIS staff, which is homeless mitigation and information services, and just a wealth of just wonderful people who work at ViaLink that are just passionate about wanting to help people and also to promote all of the wonderful work that is being done in Louisiana.
Yeah, I definitely agree. We definitely have a lot of helpful resources. And I know when I worked on the lines, there were so many people calling for help. And it always feels good when you're able to give them a referral and they get the help they need and they're not struggling or they get in and it just makes the whole world better. It just makes you feel good that you know that you can help others.
Yeah, I think absolutely. And I was even talking about this today that, it can be hard when you're working on the helplines and someone's in need of a resource and that resource doesn't exist yet.
Yeah,
And I like to say yet because hopefully with capturing this data, that means there can be the creation of the resources. But I think even having like a warm, compassionate person kind of tell you, like, I'm so sorry, I can't find anything for you right now, but I'll get with the resource department, or even just have that empathy of saying, I get it and I am so sorry, can go a long ways, and it just helps. Nobody should have to feel alone, especially while they're
yeah.
navigating their own health.
Yeah, and I think that's the biggest important thing is that nobody should feel alone, no matter if it's resources or they just need someone to talk to. I mean, sometimes they don't need an answer. They just really want someone to hear them out. And I've taken calls where they just needed to talk. They didn't need me to say anything. They just wanted to be heard. And I think that's the biggest thing that we can do right now is just be there. Like you said, show them empathy, show them that we care, show them that there's somebody out there listening to them, even they don't know us, we don't know them, but we do care. We're here, and with us working 365 days a year, 24/7. So you could be having a crisis at 3 a.m. You can call us. We're gonna be there. There's always gonna be somebody there, and I think that's what's amazing about ViaLink, especially because you have so many dedicated people that are just there. And I mean, I wish I had something like this when I was growing up. And I've told you that before. I think I've told you a billion times they had something like this, I mean, because we do so much. Like you said, we have the teen line, we have crisis line, we have the resources line. I mean, there's so much that we offer and that we really do try to help, and I think that's what's important to let people know that we're here, in case they don't.
I think that that's so important as well, and I do too. I mean, I wish we'd had things like that when I was in school, because there just is such a times where you can just feel so alone. I think especially when you're younger, because
Yeah,
not you're what you're going through is not always taken seriously, and so I love that we can provide this type of help for all ages and for like whatever you're going through. This isn't an advice line and we're not going to tell you what to do. We're there to really listen, to help you feel connected to yourself, and then like help you figure out what you want to do, not what we think you should do. My
right.
mom actually said this to me the other day, and I will probably have so many mom references as we go forward. But where she was like, I heard someone say that they were like, like when you give advice to someone who didn't ask for it, that's basically just criticism. And I was like, "That's
Yeah.
really, profound," because it is, I mean, think how annoying it is when you wanna just you go to a friend or someone in your family to just vent or talk or process through what you're thinking, and they start telling you what you should do, and you're like, this isn't not what I came here for. This isn't
Yeah,
helpful."
it doesn't help. And then I think the biggest thing is what helps us be more successful with helping others by listening is not judging. A lot of people are so scared to talk about, certain things that they're going through because they feel like they're going to be judged. And some people just don't want other people in their business. They don't want their family to know something because they don't feel comfortable and they just need to talk to somebody who will just listen and not judge them. And I think that's the bigger picture is, why a lot of people do give us a call because they can trust in us, it's confidential. So, you know, we're here to help. We're here to listen, without being judgmental, without telling them what to do, you know, and that's what you kind of need. We're like your best friend, when that doesn't give advice, we're just that type of company. And, that's the whole reason why I wanted to create the podcast. I think a lot of people have misconceptions about mental health and a lot of issues about that mental health is such a wide variety. It can mean anxiety, depression, bipolar, schizophrenic. It could be anything, and it's a lot of people are scared to talk about it. It's not normalized, and I like that you said earlier in your introduction when you were talking about you want to normalize it, and I think that's what's more important. I think that is so important that even the younger generation, they're scared. When you talk to them, they're scared. They don't want to upset people. They don't even understand sometimes what exactly they're feeling themselves. They just want to talk about it because they feel like they don't have anybody. So I think this podcast, that was my bigger picture of why I wanted to create one, is just to put more awareness out there and have these conversations. And so it's not so taboo. It's not so, it's not normal, because it's very normal. A lot of people suffer from different issues, and they shouldn't be judged or felt like they're not normal or felt like ashamed. I think that's the biggest one that I've heard. A lot of people feel ashamed, and then my favorite slogan is "It's okay not to be okay sometimes." I love that saying because it is true. You can wake up and have a bad day. It doesn't make you a bad person or anything like that. You're just going through something. So if we can be here for you while you go through it, and you just need someone to talk to, we're here, and I love that.
I absolutely love that, and yeah, I we need to so keep spreading that message that it's okay to not be okay. They said that I think they said in the movie Heathers, which not a great depiction of suicide, but it is a pretty good movie. But, they said, Winona Ryder, I think, said, "You're not supposed to be happy every day of your life. If you were, you wouldn't be human, you'd be a game show host." And
Right. Yeah.
it's just so true. Like, we're supposed to feel all of but we don't even have control over the emotions that we feel. We have control over, like, what we might think in attachment to that emotion or how we'll behave with that emotion. But that emotion comes from that part of our brain that's so much deeper rooted. And it's what keeps our brain healthy to recognize, like, I am angry today. I am sad. I am worried. I am whatever it may be. And know that that's good. That's a good, all emotions are good. You're not only supposed to feel happy, and
Right.
that we're humans, and the brain is also a part of your body just like anything else. Like, mental health is health. It doesn't just like, your brain's not somewhere else. And that always is so interesting to me, how like we wouldn't stigmatize having asthma or something like that. That's an organ in your body.
Right.
It's the same with your brain. And your brain health is going to fluctuate from time to time with whatever's going on, even sometimes just because of the way your body's developing. And it's so
Hmm.
important to talk about it and, like, get all your gunk out, and then that keeps you in control. Because sometimes your brain does lie to you. When
Yeah.
it's things like thoughts of suicide and anxiety and things like that, or even like more acute mental health diagnoses. Like, but it's just, I don't think diagnoses is a word, and I say it all the time. But, but it's just that I lost my train of thought now because I got embarrassed. But it truly is. Our brain feels what it feels. Our brain thinks what it thinks. And oh, that's what it is. Our brain I knew if I just kept talking, I'd get back to it. Sometimes your brain is going to lie to you, but when you have the opportunity and the right, as you should, to be able to kind of analyze your brain and work with someone about your brain and talk about your brain, you can know when your brain is lying to you too. I mean, for my self-disclosure, I'm someone who lives with pretty high levels of anxiety. And and off and on, not great experiences with therapy when I was younger. But then when I finally went to someone in my 20s who was really like, it's cool. This is the way your brain works. It's anxiety. Let's talk about it so that we can figure out how you want to manage it. And someone that put me in the driver's seat and gave me the permission to like analyze my thoughts in my brain so that now I can know when my brain is lying to me, when it's anxious thoughts, and label it and know what that means and how to cope through it. I mean, that was like I could breathe again. And you shouldn't have to wait till you're in your 20s to figure that out
Yeah.
either, you know?
Yes. I
So,
definitely agree with
that was a long tangent, but, thank y'all for listening. You don't have any option, but,
that.
so I guess, Jesse, can we talk about maybe what you can expect from our podcast going forward?
Yeah, so we got together and we were just talking, and we think we're going to go on different issues, different subjects. I know our next episode is going to be we're going to dive deeper into 988, um, and go from there because 988 is a huge part of us, and we work hand in hand, B-Link and 988. I mean, we take them calls, and so we're going to dive deeper into what 988 is and explain everything with that. And then our next few episodes after that, we haven't really discussed which one we're going to do next. But we want to have subjects. We're going to talk about bullying. We're going to talk about depression, anxiety. Hopefully, give out some helpful coping skills that might help people with anxiety or anything like that. Not telling you what to do though. We're just going to give you helpful, coping skill that might be helpful. And then just talking about mental health in general, just anything. And also we're open as well. We're gonna have a email address that you guys can reach us at if there's certain subjects that you would like us to discuss, or you have questions and you want to reach us and you want us to discuss those. We're gonna be there. We're gonna answer anything you want us to. But yeah, I think the bigger picture is after the 988 episode, we'll probably just look at some subject like bullying, like I said, depression, anxiety, grieving, just being a kid, thinking about things that you go through, divorce, anything like that, that we feel like important and that we can discuss and it be a good discussion. I think that's what we're trying to do is just bring awareness and just let people know we're here. That's our biggest thing is just to let people know we're here through our podcast, through our phone lines, through our organizations. So that's our main goal.
We're here.
Yes.
And please, we would love to hear from y'all. We would love to have inevitably be able to like do episodes where we're answering questions.
Yeah.
So especially if anybody has right now questions about 988 that you'd like us to cover in the next episode, you can email us at real talk, all one word, REALTALK at vialink.org, VIALINK.org. Again, you can follow us on Facebook. That's at vialink211, which right now you probably obviously are because that's where we're posting this. And again, you can visit our websites, vialink.org and preventchildabusela.org. And we are going to be attempting to um, make these podcasts every other week or so.
Yep.
So yeah, we'd love to hear from you. Love your ideas. And yeah, next time we'll be doing a deep dive on into 988.
Yeah, which is very exciting. I'm very excited for that episode. And like I said, we're very excited that you guys are, tuning in. Hopefully, you made it this far. We haven't bored you guys to death. But yeah, like she said, if there's anything that, you guys want us to talk about, definitely reach out to us and, we'll definitely do maybe an episode where we just answer questions. I mean, it's raw, it's real, we're just here for the conversation and, we just hope you join us and, we appreciate everything that you guys are doing and, even listening to us, that means a lot. And just, spread awareness about us, let people know, hey, here's these lines. If you need help, don't be ashamed, make the phone call, or send a text or write the email, we're here.
Yeah, we are here. We're going to try and demystify what goes on these lines so that nobody feels any barriers to using them. We will never disclose anything confidential, so ever.
Right.
So do never fear with that. And we would never disclose any individual conversations or anything like that. But we do just want to help to explain what happens when you reach out for help and that it's real people that care about you that are
Right.
answering these lines.
It is.
All right, Jesse. Okay, so we're going to attempt now to sign off with our slogan for the first time.
All
So
right. You ready?
this has been Sherrard and Jesse with Real Talk, and that is
Is no
no
filter,
filters,
no
no
fluff,
fluff,
just real
just real
talk.
talk. Thank y'all for joining
Thank
us.
you.